Colt Service Ace. That's what we're talking about today. These are very unique 1911s, I thought. When I first saw them and kind of got to know them a little bit, I definitely thought, wow, what a unique design. And yet that design is also the reason why a lot of people got rid of these way back. Of course, there's so many different other options out there now that, you know, of course, dates this very much. So now, not to be confused with the Ace unit that was kind of around during the 40s and whatnot, I believe, as far back as that. And those units were very similar to like this right here, where you got kind of a slide unit here that you just stick on top of your frame and basically make it a 1911 that shoots 22. So that's really cool. But this here was done up in, I think these are first year production, if I'm not mistaken, was 1978, the Service Ace. And that's kind of how they separated it from the other ones. And that's when you're looking at these in the gun shops or shows or whatnot, you're thinking, well, did somebody cobble this thing together? Did they just take a slide and put it on a frame? And what am I buying here? That's one of the ways they did. I believe that's one of the reasons why they called it the service model. Because of that, so that you didn't think that somebody basically did that, just kind of stuck things together. And of course, that beautiful bluing is just, you can't, it's very distracting. But the other way you can tell is in the serial number, there's going to be an SM prefix right there. Okay, and that indicates that that is actually a correct, that's how they identified the Service Ace frames to the slide and everything. So you're not, basically, you don't have to worry about it being, you know, something cobbled together. So this one here, like I said, I think we looked it up, it's first year production, 1978 with the Service Ace. Overall, before we dive into the actual innards of this thing, let's just kind of look at it and see what we got. And what you have is you really do just have, in a nutshell, a cross between the old school government model like this, all right, that's just a plain Jane 1911 45. Basically what you're looking at is the frame. You can see all the features on the basic model, even with the nickel trigger, short trigger, and grip safety and all that. And that's basically what you have here. You know, you got the same stuff. All right, what changes is the serrations here. They're angled forward. They kind of, you know, dressed and dolled this thing up. And the sights are adjustable, and the top is flat and with a larger front sight and everything. So in a way, this is kind of a, if you look at it, this is kind of like a Gold Cup style slide going on here. So that's really that's an interesting part of it. Other than that, everything else is the same. You got the arch mainspring housing and all that. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and dive into this thing, and we're going to talk about some of the, I guess, negatives and whatnot of this thing. So, down in here, you'll notice there's a different little operation right here. This right here is the ejector. And how that works is when the cartridge is pulled out by the extractor, right here, which the extractor on this is definitely different because it's canted in forward more towards the inside of the, to hold on to the cartridge. A smaller rim of a 22 cartridge right there. And when it comes out, and it's going to bump into that because that's the only way, because the normal ejector off of a 1911 is not going to do it. It's going to bump into that hook, and that's what's going to kick it out. So let's go ahead and pop the slide off this thing so we can take a closer look at the inner workings and what's going on. All right. All right, so here's that that piece here, and it basically lives like this. It rides into that area there, and that's what you got. The round is being pushed, or pulled rather. It's being pulled out, and it's going to hit that and eject it off, and just, you know, do away with it. So, all right. here is the interesting design right here, and this is also the cause of the reason why people, I've heard it more than a handful of people, I would say, have told me that when they had these things, this is the reason why they got rid of them. It's this design, this floating chamber or split chamber design here, whatever you want to call it. I'm no I'm no virtuoso, and I just you know, so if you see, that's what it does right there. It separates just like that, and you pull it apart to clean it. And this one's a little dirty, as that term, it being very dirty, is synonymous with this thing. That's the one thing. It's like a pig, man. It just got filthy and nasty and fouled up and jammed up a lot. And you can see just how that would. And the part of there's a couple of reasons for this, and I think the most logical reason is that when it goes and does this motion here and separates and bangs, it's like a short throw. It's almost like the design, if you think of like the M1 carbine, that short throw kind of blowback kind of deal. Well, not blowback, but it just that sharp, you know, pull on that there, that piston kind of deal. And that's what's going to help throw this heavy slide back, because that's the one thing is this gun is not, this is not aluminum. There's no like gimmick parts in a sense. You know, not trying to, you know, knock on the aluminum frames or slides or anything, but that's the deal about this. So usually when you get a 22 unit, even like this one here that I got to the right here, this Wilson Combat unit, it's an aluminum slide. So to make things lighter so it can operate that 22 cartridge. So that's what, and in this case it's all steel. Basically, if you pick this thing up, it's the same weight and feel of a standard all steel, you know, 45 or whatnot. So that needs some kind of trick to help make it work. And I think that's that is what they came up with right there. It goes bang, and that's what throws that slide back right there. The other thing is too, I guess one of the kind of a cool thing about this is when you're shooting this, is it kind of gives you a little bit more felt recoil. It's not going to recoil like a 45 or anything like that, but it definitely is going to give you a little bit something to react to. And that's, I'm not sure, you know, I've heard rumors that they did that so that, you know, you could train with it and it would at least give you some kind of felt recoil and all that. But, you know, and that definitely may have been a benefit of it. But I think really what it was just that it needed something to help with that slide, to throw that slide back, to help cycle the action and make it work. When you have these things, they work best with high velocity ammunition, definitely. I found like things like Remington Golden Bullet and mini mags and things like that works the best. So I have not had too many follow-ups of this thing, so it just I've shot it and it does get filthy. It really does. It gets nasty. You can see here. I'll go ahead and put this in there. You know, we're safe. It's a disassemble, but I mean you can see how it's got some oil in there built up, but you can see how that protrudes out there like that, and you can just see all that. As it goes through, all this is going to get nasty and built up and caked up with stuff, and it's happening inside of that chamber right there. So you can see where that, you know, people were talking about with that. And so yeah, and I can't tell you how many people I've ran into that say, yeah, they got rid of it because of that and now regret it. So I hang on to it because it's really unique. It really is. Now down in here you can see how the extractor is it's cut out. You can see it leaning all the way through there, and it tilts right in further so that can grip onto the cartridge here. You can see it slides under there. You can see there how it grips onto it, and that's how they did it right there, just machining it out further. And you can see all through there where that the extractor lives there, and pretty much it's a standard, just standard 1911. Like, that's what's really cool about it. There's no real deviation from this thing. Now, if you look at the frame should present nothing odd or strange. In fact, you know, even the ejector is the same as a 45 here. In fact, go ahead and strip this one down here for you, and so you can compare and look at it. I'm going to keep these parts separate because I don't want to mix them up. Okay. Clean up some of this ballast all in there. But okay, so here's a you know, you can see here, this is the standard 1911 45 series 70, and this is the service ace here on your left, and on the right is the standard 45, and you can see how much difference there is. None. Because that's what it is. They just took their existing frames and made it work with this service ace. So that's the one, again, the indication how you know that you don't have something just cobbled together is that serial number prefix right there, SM. From what I understand is that's how they are. They serialize them to that, and that's how you know what you got and what you're dealing with, and you know, you don't have something that's just been thrown together. So, but yeah, that's, you know, there it is in a nutshell. Well, kind of a longer video than what we normally do for these type of things, but I just kind of wanted to show you and dive into this for those that are kind of curious on how this thing works. What is it? You know, so. But yeah, it's kind of neat because it's still, you know, it's a design that goes all the way back to World War II days, but yet this is a 1978, you know, reintroduction, if you will, by Colt, called the service model. And that's what they came up with, and this is it. So this is kind of a unique one. Usually the World War II ones, you just see them in kits. Sometimes they're already on a frame or something like that, but usually they were just a kit, and that's what you got. So, and those command some serious money, and these have definitely gotten more expensive over time, especially since I've bought it. Mine here, they've definitely commanded some high prices. And without a doubt, you know, they're just getting pricey, and they're not getting any cheaper. I think I still see these around the shops. I really do. I still see them bouncing around in the gun shops and all that, so they're still around. One of the last things we're going to talk about with this thing, which I think is its major downfall, is the magazine. The magazine is its huge downfall. These things, they just, you know, they don't really operate right all the time, and they're, you know, kind of clumsy, if you ask me, by today's standards, I guess, you know, just kind of the way, you know, the other ones are. They're pinned here. They got 2 pins, and I've fought with them. I've taken them apart and messed with them. There's a company called Triple K. They make repops of these. If you found the real ones of these that are actually legit, like this, that comes with the gun and all that, I've seen them on eBay sell for stupid money, just really, really expensive. Yeah, they're feeding issues. I mean, you can just see how they just kind of, you know, they're not exactly put together the best. So, but if I would say the major downfall to this thing would be the magazine. And, you know, trying to buy, you know, this is going to be one of those things where, I mean, if you're trying to buy several magazines for this thing and go all that route, just to, you know what, you might as well get something like the Kimber conversion unit and use that. And at least you can get those magazines readily available and all that. If you're kind of doing this route, this is just total nostalgia, total just a collector's kind of thing, like I feature in my collector's radio show. You know, that's kind of where this lies in the market for me. Not something I really go and shoot all the time. It's more like a treat if I shoot it, because I definitely know the other end of that spectrum is, you know, the cleaning process, which is not easy. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.